Alrighty then, corn children, children of the corn. It is a fine day for mathematics. And today we're going to be talking about the law of cosine. The law of cosine will work on any triangle. It could be a right triangle, it might not be a right triangle. It's gonna work. And we can use it to find sides or angles in a triangle. In our first problem here, you'll notice that I have given you triangle ABC. Side A is opposite angle A, side B opposite B, side C opposite angle C. See? See. And you'll also notice that I have given you side, angle, side. When given side, angle, side, the law of cosine works like a dream. We are going to be finding side A. If you want to find side A, you should put side A all by itself alone. Now in the law of cosine, it comes squared. So it would be A squared, and then the other two sides come next. B squared plus C squared minus 2, those same two sides, BC, cosine angle A. The only A's are like bookends to the equation. You start with an A, you end with an A. But this one's a side, and this one's an angle. Well, would you look at this? We know side B, we know side C, we again know B and C, and we know angle A. We know the entire right-hand side. It is going to be a straight plug and chug. So this is B squared plus 42 squared minus 2 times 50 times 42 cosine 17. Now this is in degrees, so you have to make sure your calculator's in degree mode. Also, be aware, if I type all of this in, we're not getting A because A is squared here. We'll need to take a square root. Personally, that's just me, I like to do that in 2 steps. I'm going to type everything on the right. Like seriously, I just type the whole thing. I type it all in. 50 squared plus 42 squared minus 2 times 50 times 42 cosine 17, close the back parenthesis. I type all of that in. I'm getting, what is that, 247 blah, blah, blah. Obviously 200 is way too big for this side compared to the other two, so don't forget you have to take the square root. Second, square root, grab it, enter it. So my answer turns out to be, with 3 decimal place accuracy, 15.73 rounded 3. Well, that was so easy. Yeah, it works like a dream. These are in inches. This is in inches. It works like a dream if you're given side, angle, side. You don't even have to do any math other than you end up taking the square root of both sides. That's like the hardcore math there. All right. Is it ever harder? Well, yes, of course it is. All right. Go ahead, pause the video and jot that down. This time you'll notice we've been given side, side, side. And we're going to have to do a little bit more math in order to solve for one of the angles. Don't worry, you've all taken Algebra 1. Now before we get into this, I want to remind you of some stuff you know. What stuff we know? Yeah, just check this out. If I have 7 equals 5 minus 2x, do we combine the 5 and the minus 2? No, of course we do not. This one has an x and this one does not. They are not like terms. We are solving for the x. We want to get the x alone. And so what we would do is we would subtract 5 from both sides. Just to finish this out, we would then do what? We would divide by -2 on both sides, and x is -1, right? That's the skill we need to work with the law of cosine. What? Yeah, check it out. Now, I'm going to pick one angle just at random. I've decided to solve for angle, that's a capital C, angle C. If I'm finding angle C, then I would use the law of cosine version that starts with side C. So it'd look like this. Side C squared equals the other two sides squared and summed minus 2, same two sides, AB, cosine C. Now here's what I want you to know. We're solving for that one. I said to you, we want to solve for angle C. So that's the part I need to get alone. Well, just like in algebra, we would not combine any of this. I wouldn't add a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, because this minus 2ab is multiplied by our variable. It's like the negative 2 multiplied by the x. This part has the variable, this part does not. This part has the variable, these terms do not. So how do we solve? Well, I would subtract a squared and I would subtract b squared from both sides. Bringing this down, I would have c squared minus a squared minus b squared equals. Don't lose that negative. We are mathematicians, not magicians. That should not disappear. AB cosine angle C. And once again, let's remember, this is the one we're solving for. Now, to get the cosine of C alone, that's multiply, multiply, multiply. So I will divide on both sides by negative 2ab, including the negative. All right, so now I have this giant fraction equals cosine C. All right, hold on. Because I care deeply, I'll write it down again. You could multiply the top and bottom of this by a -1 to make it a little bit easier, but the calculator's going to do the work for us anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. All right, so here's what we have now. We want to solve for C, not cosine of C. What we have here, over on the side of my paper, this is saying that C is going into the cosine machine and out is coming this giant fraction. I'll just write the giant fraction, okay? We don't want that. We want to be able to put the giant fraction in and have the C come out. Well, what kind of a machine does that? Undoes the order of this and makes the out the in and makes the in the out. Oh, that's right. Inverse or arc cosine. Yeah, I know, inverse cosine. So here's how this looks, people. Check it out. I'm going to change from a cosine machine to an inverse cosine machine. The in is no longer the in. Angle C is now, made it giant, the out. And this fraction which was coming out now goes in. What? Yeah, that's how you do that. Now, we know all three of the sides. We can fill in all of these numbers. You do have to be careful with the typing. I have a fancy schmancy calculator, and it actually has a fraction key. If I hit the alpha green key and the F1 shortcut key, my calculator will make fractions for me. Oh, that's handy. If you do not have a calculator that makes fractions, then when you do the inverse cosine, you're going to need to put some extra parentheses around your numerator and denominator. So you do inverse cosine. I'm guessing this opens automatically on all calculators. Another parenthesis, c squared minus a squared minus b squared, close it, divide it, open a parenthesis, minus 2ab, close it, close it. I don't have to do quite so many because of my fraction maker. So let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to do, whoops, let me get that out of there, inverse cosine, the second key in the cosine key, and then I'm going to create a fraction, alpha F1 fraction maker. My C value was 87, so 87 squared minus a squared is 22 squared minus b squared is 70 squared. I'm going to drop down with my arrow key. Don't forget the -2 times a, which is 70, times b, which is 22, and I'm going to bring this out here and close it. Boom. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is angle C. My calculator's in degree mode, so my answer's in degrees. Angle C is 135, 3 decimal place accuracy, 1.87 degrees. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah.